going to give it just a few seconds to let this lag catch up. It's always buffering. And then we'll do some chatting and talk about why today has been so slow. Waiting to hear from one of y'all. Let me know when you can hear me. We are live, says Kevin. Awesome. Excellent. So I've got a little fan going in the background. My typical gnats are out here bothering the heck out of me. Well, actually, they're not. We'll just start off with this way. I had a pretty awesome viewer send me a thermocell that we're running here. And since then, the gnats have kind of ran away. And in case anyone's curious, I'm not selling none of this stuff. This right here, this bug repellent that is now reversing the screen. It's got a bunch of essential oils in it. This stuff's actually working, so praise Jesus. I'm not choking on gnats this whole live stream. So, y'all let me know. My computer is really dragging over here. Signal's been kind of iffy today, even with the cell phone booster. So, if there's a lot of buffering or some issues, please let me know that. I'll try to restart or do whatever I can. So it looks like we got Pam on, Chris, Kevin, quite a few people there. We've already been chatting before the live stream started. And I'll go ahead and let y'all know, yes, just a little bit ago, I posted that, hey, we're not doing a live stream today because Tiffany has family in town, so she will not be joining us. Just want to go ahead and let everybody know that. And I have been gone all day, just got home. So I just didn't think a live stream was going to work out well at all. But then I got to thinking, man, I need to rush and try to put one on because we've posted so much content this week. So much going on from the house stuff to the lumber issues that we're having to the citrus trees, the garden, the storm shelter. I figure there's probably somebody that's going to have some questions for me. So let me jump on here real quick. No cooking tonight, no bullet. Like I said, no Tiffany. Just me and you hanging out, answering your questions. I felt like I at least owed you that with all the content that we posted this week. So it is what it is. It's going to be probably a rather mundane and boring live stream, but we'll answer whatever questions you have. If you're new and never jumped on before, I see people are already doing it. Let me know where you're from. I'm always curious about that. And thank you for joining the live stream. It's very nice to chat with you. Okay, so Tim wants to know about the lumber issues that we're having. So today I have been out with a couple of good friends that we met about a year or two ago. So we may have just had a blessing happen today. This friend happens to work in a construction type of business for doing remodeling, and anytime there's like disasters in a home, fire, water damage, whatever. But he seems to think that potentially he may be able to help me get all that OSB I'm looking for. So that's been one of the biggest concerns that I've had on getting sheathing to close the house in once I start raising walls out there, and how to protect that. I just can't get sheeting anywhere. They're hoarding it. They're not wanting to let me have more than 10 sheets, or the price is so outrageous. And then I run into the issue this past week of a company saying, you're not local, we're not selling it to you. This is crazy. I have never seen this before with lumber or much else. But like I said, this guy may be able to take care of me and get me what I'm needing. So I'm praying that works out, because that would be a big relief and weight off my shoulders. Speaking of that, a lot of y'all have been awesome. I've received emails all week, comments, everything from people from Virginia to Texas to everywhere, literally offering to drive down and deliver me the wood that I need, or going around and looking at local big box stores or small stores and saying, hey, we've got what you're looking for. Here's the price it is in there. Thank y'all so much for that. I'm still not ruling out taking a road trip to pick up lumber if I need to, but if I don't have to drive several states away, I'd rather spend those days working on the house over there. But like I said, prayers may have just been answered. I'm able to get this stuff locally. I'll keep y'all on the loop as we go on throughout the week. So there's the answer for that. That's been the biggest concern I've had by far this week, is how the heck do I get lumber to build the house? But it may be moving forward. I've still got to get a lot of lumber for the interior of the house. All the interior walls, that's going to be a bunch of 2x4 type material. So I'm going to be doing some calling around tomorrow. Videos may be a little spotty this week. I would admit that. House videos are going to be a little delayed, because I think instead of going out there and start raising walls, I may devote my time right now to trying to get the lumber and things that I need. So as I start raising walls and moving forward, at least I know what I have here can keep me going. So we'll see how that works out, but I will keep y'all in the loop. All right, let me check a few more questions here. So you got Bow Hunting 101. He says he's been enjoying all the videos. Had to catch up on a couple, been working late. Thank you so much for that. Looks like we have people from Mississippi, Louisiana, North Carolina, Canada, quite a few different places, Texas. So awesome. Thank y'all so much for jumping in and chatting with me tonight. And again, if you're just hopping on, so we picked up quite a few more people. Nope, you got to stare at my ugly mug tonight. Tiffany is not here. She's got family in town, and they're kind of having a little girls' day today. She's getting to hang out with some sisters that she doesn't get to see very often. So that definitely needed to take priority over her rushing back here and getting on the live stream. Oh, what else we got here? Another North Carolina, Oklahoma. So quite a few people jumping on tonight. Another Oklahoma. So looks like some probably Daniel fans that he sent our way. Thank y'all so much for chatting with us. Got Cash in from California. And Chris is asking or states that he sees that they put crack joints in the concrete. He said here they pour smaller pads and then put expansion boards between so they won't crack. I've never seen that here, but I suppose that's a way to do it. I've just always seen them run those big chainsaw type disc cutters and cut the relief joints there. The shop I'm sitting in right now, that's exactly how it was done here. And thus far, not a single crack in this floor, period, other than where they designed it to crack. So I guess everything is everywhere else, huh? All right, let's see what else we got here. A couple more people, let's see. Hang on one second. Sorry, looks like we're having to do our first ever block here, so I apologize for people coming and putting stuff that doesn't look to be correct and shouldn't be in our comment section. So we got Germany in the house. Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You got Logan just jumped on. Good to see you, Logan. Thank you so much. And yes, I seen what y'all were talking about there. That person should be blocked now. First time I've ever had to do that on a live stream, and I certainly hope that y'all are no longer seeing any of those because never had to block anybody for. So apologize for that. Sometimes things are out of your control, especially when you're live. Tis the world we live in with people that can be rude and say and do things that we don't all agree with. But we'll keep moving on. We're not going to let that person bring this down at all. And let's see here. How's the ice machine working? Glad y'all brought that up. So I recorded a quick little update video. I think it was yesterday morning, and I've still got to edit that tonight as soon as we get off the live stream. I'm going to try to have that posted tomorrow. Ice machine's been working great. Actually, oh, there goes a gnat in my eye. I used the ice machine yesterday for about 20 pounds. I used it today and got 20 pounds out of it. This past week, middle of the week, probably grabbed 10 pounds out of it. Last weekend, 30 pounds. The weekend before, 30. So I've done pulled well over 100 pounds of ice out of this thing, and it probably still has, I don't know, 70 plus pounds in it now because I've kind of dug it down pretty good. It's still outpacing me. It's still doing very well. I'm extremely happy with the ice machine. If y'all haven't checked out the video I posted just a while back where I doubled up the ice makers on it, check that out because that made the difference. If they had a single ice maker in there, I don't think there is any way it would keep up with what that we need there. Oh, we got another North Carolina in the house. Man, North Carolina and Oklahoma's like crazy. Western Massachusetts, and CK Fab says there's an idiot everywhere. I agree. We just seen our one for the night. Oh, goodness. So Chris asked about the Backwood 40 get together in Wisconsin. Am I thinking of going? I'll be honest with you, buddy. That is way, way too far away. And with everything I have going on back there between trying to take care of this place, the garden, the house, it's just about impossible for me to leave this time of year. Actually, for the next few months, it's going to be very hard to leave. I usually don't leave this place other than just running a few errands between editing, recording, and all the projects I have going. I've got to stay wide open nonstop or they just get way behind on me. So not going off anywhere anytime soon. Got Ohio in the house. They're sharing. Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us, saying y'all have some rain up there. Believe it or not, we haven't had a good rain in a while. We were having them there constantly all winter long. Everything was flooded. Now it's kind of dry again. Feast or famine is how it goes in Florida. Karen asks, do I plan to raise any livestock? Or I should say we, even though I don't have Tiffany sitting beside me. Absolutely. So the pasture that you see in the video lot that I will be also mowing probably this week. Yeah, looking at it, it's getting thick. We do plan on putting livestock in that pasture. We specifically planted all the grass out there and leveled that pasture whenever we first bought the property just for livestock. So we plan on putting a few cows out there. Tiffany wants a couple of horses. Yeah, that's not technically livestock for farming, but for, I guess, entertainment, enjoyment. That's the word I'm looking for. We also want to get some goats, so there'll be a few different types of animals out there, although like goats, for example, they'll probably have their own pen. We don't want to mix too many breeds out there for parasite reasons, and don't know how well they'll get along. But we'll work on that as the channel grows and I can get some free time away from the house. Eventually, probably the first thing we're actually going to get is chickens. I plan on doing that. So we'll have lots of different animals coming up here before long. Like I said, the house has got my biggest focus, bar none, right now. And the garden's going to take up a lot of time. And all this green back here, oh my goodness. I love having this much property and pasture, but it requires about 8 hours a week of my time to mow and take care of this place. Not complaining, wouldn't have it any other way. I'm the one that planted all that grass and made all this available. Eventually, we'll lob off about 10 acres of all my mowing, which is the pasture for animals. That'll help me tremendously on how much I have to take care of every week. So it's a work in progress. We just got to grind it out, work or just kind of work at it slowly for financial reasons. And I don't want to give myself a heart attack. My goodness, I am very guilty of giving myself way too many projects. So we'll slowly move into that. So we got Maryland in the house, Minnesota, quite a few people. So Silver Badger asks, what do I do for a day job? Pretty common question that I get on most live streams, and a good one. We picked up a lot of people here lately. So there is a video that I put out on the channel this past October. I used to work at a paper mill, pulp and paper industry. Worked there for about 10 years. I was a manager when I left over a few different departments, but had a burning desire and passion for probably the last year and a half to pursue YouTube. Typically, most people don't pursue YouTube full-time until they're making full-time income, which I'm still not making. However, we set ourselves up financially, and last October, I walked away from that job with just a couple thousand subscribers, and Tiffany's still working, thank goodness, and we decided that I really wanted to pursue YouTube. It was just a burning desire, just something I couldn't get off my mind, and we figured we would get the channel to potentially earning a full-time income quicker if I devoted 100% of my time to it versus a couple days on the weekend, because I was working 12 and 16-hour days out at the mill. So as of right now, you're looking at it, I do YouTube. This is day in, day out. This is what I eat, sleep, and breathe. I'm up at 6 or 7 a.m. editing, working chores, recording, and then 9 or 10 o'clock at night still editing, getting stuff ready to try to post videos every day. That's why I thank y'all so much for the support, for getting on these live streams, for the donations that people make, for literally just watching the videos, like, sharing, subscribing. Those things really help get the channel exposure, helps it grow. And thank y'all so much, I don't mention this enough, for tolerating ads on the video. Ultimately, that's those ads, that little bit of time that you have to watch that or either skip it, whatever it is you do, that's what helps pay me. And that's what I'm currently doing right now. So good question. I'm planning on being transparent about that as the channel goes on. That's something I've always appreciated about Daniel Arms. His channel, he was always very open and honest. No, I don't have to share all my financial information with you. And there's some that I probably won't, but there's a lot that I will, because at the end of the day, it's because of y'all that I'm getting to do what I'm doing, and I appreciate that so very much. I really, really do. So thank y'all for the support. It means the world to me. It really does. And y'all got me away from that paper mill. Oh, goodness gracious. So happy to be away from there. So another North Carolina, my goodness, they're just pouring the house. Looks like Montana. And what else do we got here? So Chris says if you pay the YouTube small subscription fee, you don't see ads. That's very true. That's called YouTube Premium. I don't currently have it, but actually I get a small revenue from that. So if y'all do a paid for service and skip ads, as long as you're doing the paid for service through YouTube, yes, I still actually do get some of that right there. Looks like we're getting spam tonight for some reason, y'all. I apologize for that. So it looks like I'm going to have to wind up getting me a moderator on this channel here before long so we can be blocking everything. So Mac wants to know, how am I doing? Doing great, buddy. Thank you. And where is Tiffany at? Well, Tiffany has family in town, some sisters that she hasn't seen in forever. So she spent the day out with them, and I've been out doing some stuff with friends all day long. That's why we were talking last weekend about not even doing the live stream today. But family comes first. I told her don't worry about rushing home. She need to enjoy that time. She's still quite a ways away from getting home right now. She'll be back later tonight, and she will be on the live stream next week. We plan on doing one next Sunday. Looks like we're going to get our last cool snap next Sunday too. So I plan on having the fire pit lit back there as well. And Cash says, pick him, pick him. What am I picking you for, Cash? Did you ask a question I didn't get answered? Oh, so Stacy says you're doing an awesome job with your videos. Thank you so much for that, Stacy. We truly do appreciate you watching the channel. And we got another Canada person just up in the house. Maureen, thank you so much for checking us out. Karen, thank you so much for the kind comment. Really do appreciate that. And Maureen says, yes, I need a moderator. Sadly, up until tonight, I've never really had the issue that we're having now and needed a moderator. But here before long, yeah, I'm going to start working on that. We're going to get us one in here. Sadly, with the influx of new people that we've just gained over the last couple of weeks, we've more than doubled our channel, which has been awesome. And has also attracted a ton, and I mean a ton, of spam accounts. I can't tell you, there's literally been hundreds upon hundreds of comments that I've had to delete on videos that's just pure spam. And sadly, those spammers, whatever they are, I don't even know if it's real people or a program, they wind up subscribing to your account, and I guess they can see when you have a live stream too and get on and post random junk. So I guess that's just a part of growing on YouTube. You're going to attract a bunch of good people like y'all, and then there's going to be some junk that's going to get attracted too, but we'll deal with that as we can. And I do believe y'all can hit the 3 little dots on the right side of a comment. So if something pops up and I don't see it, I think y'all can actually report it. So maybe check that out. See what else we got here. Tally Showy says, I nominate Cash for a moderator. Well, I would do that, but sometimes Cash is a little late, and I think he's okay with me saying that. So, Cash, can I depend on you? You going to start getting on here on time? You going to be a moderator? So, we'll see. Typically, I would have Tiffany right here, and I can give her moderator rights, and she could do something real quick. You always see her on her phone. I've been meaning to say that. That is not her not paying attention to y'all. That's her literally over there monitoring and reading comments, letting me know when, hey, somebody's asked this over and over, catch this comment. So normally I would have a moderator right here. Right now, nope, it's just me. So John says he saw OSB, the elusive OSB that I've been looking for the house, for 32 sheet at Lowe's. And is that about right for my area? Actually, that's pretty good price. I hate to say that because it was $9, what, year and a half ago. But now everybody's 42 to 45 a sheet here. So that 32 is actually a decent price. I've heard that the Lowe's in our area has some for around that price, but I'm having a hard time seeing if they're willing to sell me 100 sheets or get it to me. But we just had a lot of people jump on. I don't know if y'all heard at the very beginning of the live stream, I mentioned was hanging out with a friend today, and he thinks he may be able to help me get all that OSB that I'm needing. So I'm praying that works out. That's some really good news, and I'll keep y'all updated on that. But I may have just found the elusive materials that I'm really needing to keep the house going. Still got to go pick up quite a bit more stuff. 2x4s for interior walls, house wrap, all kinds of other stuff. But first, I need to get to raising some walls. I just didn't really want to do that until I knew I had OSB to close them in and protect them. So Kingwood 43 just made a $5 donation. Thank you so much for that. We truly do appreciate it. We really do. As y'all were just asking, what I do full time. It's those donations like that that really help make this thing possible. And again, y'all just simply watching, liking, and sharing the videos. All that here. And right behind you, thank you so much. Right behind me is Clay, just made a donation. Says, Indiana here, just found your channel on Orange Family Recommendation. Like your content. Thank you so very much, both of y'all. We truly appreciate the donations here. Like I said, it's those little things like that that help make this possible. So thank y'all so much for helping me live my dream here. And I hope I can keep providing y'all some entertaining and potentially educational content. I'm doing my best to pump these videos out for you. So CK Fab says a lot of house builds are being put on hold due to prices. We're starting to see that in our area. We've heard of a lot of concrete slabs that are just sitting there, not finished right now. People just waiting for lumber prices to drop. And sadly, it's going to take a lot more of that, I think, before these high prices drop. I don't know if gouging's going on or what. We've all chatted a bunch on comments throughout the week, but I've heard 10 to 15 different scenarios on why lumber's high. Nobody truly knows why. But if people quit buying it, now, I'm guilty. I'm buying some right now. I want my house going, but if people quit buying it, that's probably what it's going to take to get these prices down. And I hate it. I hate to see a lot of people building a house, getting bank loans out, getting going, and then just having a concrete slab sitting there. 'Tis the world we live in now. We're going to do the best of it. We're going to make the best of the situation. So, wow. Okay, thank you. Cash right behind with a $20 donation there. Thank you so much, man. I truly do appreciate that. Again, it means the world to us. Cash has been a longtime subscriber of the channel. Well, the channel hasn't been around that long, but awesome person. We chat all the time, comments every day. And then right behind him, holy moly, you've got Chris and Tiffany. Tiffany always gets on me for not mentioning Chris and Tiffany. Thank you so much, man. Another donation right behind him. Wow, I really do appreciate that, man. Thank y'all so much. You're on a roll tonight. So he says this will buy you about 1.5 sheets of plywood. You're kind of correct. Plywood's $55 a sheet now, but that might give you 1.5 sheets of OSB. So yes, you were correct. So yeah, maybe we need to quit worrying about the dump trailer, y'all, and the grapple, and we might need to start an OSB fund. How about that? So we can get this house wrapped up out of here. So thank y'all so much, Cash and Chris. Really, really, really means everything to us that you do that. If Tiffany is here, she'd be absolutely thanking you as well. So really appreciate that. So Max says your storm shelter's looking good and nice. Like how I painted it. Thank you. We've had a lot of awesome comments for the paint. Some people wonder why gray, why not. Ultimately, we kind of just want to match the building up on the property. Everything's starting to kind of get a little scattered on the property, and we figured matching paint up to the house, the storm shelter, and the shop at least should make things look a little more pleasing to the eye. I tend to have a little bit of OSB. See what's on my mind? OCD for things like that. Too many acronyms around here today. Oh, excuse me. So Plain Speaker just jumped on and says hello from Alabama. Thank you so much for jumping on and chatting with us. Good to see you. And Welder Man says that he's hearing by July prices are heading down, but who knows? I hope there's some truth to that. Sadly, a lot of lumber yards or hardware stores and places around here are telling me they're not hearing anything. They're hearing that it may continue to go up, and some of them are telling me they think it's going to go all the way to 2022 before prices drop. But the problem is, again, nobody really knows. Nobody knows. Crazy times. I know I say that a lot, but I've never seen anything like this. We'll get through it, no doubt. We got through the 2007 housing bubble and all that other mess that took us down and did well, and this will be a distant memory at some point behind us as well. We just do not want to stop building our house. That option is always there. We could have to do that, but we finally have waited 1.5 years of doing plans. We've been saving for years. We want to keep this house thing rolling, and as of right now, that's going to happen. So we're going to keep plugging away. And Karen asked, do I have problems with gators in my neck of the woods? Not familiar where you're located. Well, we're in North Florida, but Florida in general, yes, tons of alligators, probably the alligator capital of the world. Problems with them? Not really. We just spent, I just spent some time on the water yesterday swimming at a local watering hole with some friends of mine, and there's alligators everywhere. You see them right across where you swim. They really don't bother us like people make out. What you have to watch more than anything is little dogs, small animals, things like that getting near the water, small children. We still just don't really hear about that stuff happening around here, but a gator is more than likely to go after something small that it can get, not a big old person. So no, we don't technically have problems. And as far as on the property, I think I've only ever seen 2 or 3 alligators on the property itself. We just don't have big lakes and a pile of water or good flowing water to really keep them around. You have to have a good amount of fish and just other things that they eat for they'll stay around. Otherwise, they're going to walk on off and find something else. Now, next door over in this general direction is probably a 20 or 30 acre big swamp on neighboring property. I guarantee you there's some alligators out there because I've never seen it go dry, and that's a lot of water to have a lot of fish, frogs, everything else they eat. We have more snakes than we have alligators on the property. Welcome to Florida. And black widows, if y'all seen that on one of the recent videos. So Cash says he doesn't mind gators, but definitely not a snake person yourself. Well, we've got both of them here, but snakes, yes, pile of them. Hello from Katy, Texas, says Maria. Awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on and chatting with me. Have enjoyed your videos. Keep up good work, and God bless us both. Thank you so much. And again, I've seen we've got quite a few more people just jumped on. Tiffany is off with family that she hasn't seen in a while tonight, so I'll probably keep repeating that as we chat a little longer here. She is not around. Nope, she didn't leave me. Not yet. Just kidding. Just kidding. She is, like I said, off just seeing family, and that definitely needs to be the first priority. She has one sister that she hardly ever gets to see, not even really on the holidays. So I'm really happy that her mom, and her sisters got to get together and hang out and chat with each other this weekend. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Cash says he's not going to come visit them with our alligators and snakes. Well, we got them, buddy. Donald Slate says doghouse. You're probably talking about the new storm shelter that everybody keeps calling my doghouse. That very well may wind up being. So I like y'all's suggestions on putting a bathroom and a TV in there. So if that winds up being my doghouse, I've got an awesome place to go to. So Pony Girl asks, Citrus, did you trim your little trees? Just trim anything growing on or below the, I don't even know, is that Scion, I guess? And say hi to Tiff. All right, I'll definitely say hi to her. And no, I didn't prune them. I had a lot of comments pop up today from people that sounded far more knowledgeable than myself, and everybody kind of agreed with what I was already thinking. Don't prune right now. They're already under too much shock from transplant. They're budding out. They're already putting little small citruses on. I think now would probably be a horrible time to prune them and put them under more shock. So a lot of y'all had some good suggestions about tying the limbs up off the ground so I can kind of get my weed eater underneath so they don't get choked out with weeds. Plus I need to mulch them. I may take y'all up on that suggestion and tie some of the limbs up. That's a really good idea. Then later this fall or early next spring, I can let the limbs back down and then really do my pruning once all the citrus trees are dormant. So appreciate everybody hopping in on that. So Paul, he asked, any wild pigs around where I live? That is probably the most common question I get asked on the live stream, I do believe. We actually do not have them on the property, and I'm thankful for that because they would tear up livestock fences, eat my garden up, just destroy your place, dig holes all in the pasture. But if you go just a few miles around us, yes, there's absolutely hogs. We have a lot of bears on the property, which it comes as a shock to a lot of people. For Florida, you don't think of bears. Oh yeah, we've got quite a few black bears on the property. I really think that's the reason we don't have a lot of wild hogs. That's the only thing I can come up with, because there's water on the property, there's swamp, there's everything that you need to have wild hogs. For some reason, they just don't come on this property. And again, I am very happy with that. We've only ever seen one hog in the 7 years that we've owned the property. And it was a hog that just ran through one night. Definitely don't want them. They tear everything in the world up around here, which the bears already kind of do that themselves. So Cash says, is the donation going to be higher without Miss Tiffany? I highly doubt it, unless y'all are paying me to leave. That might work too, Cash. All right, so Paul says the bears will eat the hogs. That must be what's happening. That's the only thing I can come up with. And Playing Speaker says, do you know of the Hidden Oaks Homestead? Yes, I do. And sadly, I do not get to watch nowhere near the YouTube that I once did. Now that there's a lot of irony in this. Now that I produce a lot of YouTube, try to get daily videos out, do all the editing, all the work around here. By me doing a lot of YouTube, I don't get to watch a lot of YouTube. So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, like I said, I'm literally up till 9 or 10 o'clock most nights editing, and then up at 6 or 7 in the morning doing the same thing. So I am not catching up on watching much on YouTube at all like I used to. But that's a good thing. This is exactly what I asked for. This is what I wanted, and I'm thrilled and happy with it. So no, I'm not caught up on a lot of other channels like I should be. I wish I had the time. I don't. But again, very thankful for the reason that I don't have the time. And Rob says it's good to, hey Andrew, good to see you. Thank you for getting on chatting with me, Rob. I keep saying us, but Tiffany's not here tonight, off with family. So number one, Noel just jumped on. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Been a long time subscriber of the channel. And Tally Showy says, I have a bumper crop of oakworms. Sick of them. Have you seen many? No, I really haven't, but I can, I know it's not the same thing, but I had a horrible armyworm infestation last year that just destroyed a bunch of stuff out in the garden all around the property. So I'm hoping I don't get the armyworms back, but I haven't seen the oakworms like you're talking about. Here's the other thing. I've had a friend that just got into raised bed gardening for the first time this year, actually gardening period. He watched all the videos, got excited about it. He just sent me pictures this morning. He planted a couple weeks before me and all his crops are up, and he's already starting to get holes ate all through the leaves. This is crazy. Typically we don't have grasshopper, worm, caterpillar problems this early in the season, at least that I've ever seen. Typically it's June before it heats up and bugs show up everywhere. So I'm hoping we're not going to have a really bad year of bugs that's constantly going to work on the garden, because I am absolutely against doing herbicide and pesticide treatments in the garden. If I can absolutely avoid it, I try to do natural remedies, and I'm still struggling because a lot of that's new to me, finding some natural remedies to get rid of a lot of this stuff. So I will be asking a lot of y'all questions about that too. And that's one reason why a lot of people ask me, why do I not put drip irrigation out in the garden? I like to hand water every single day because it doesn't take long, and just for the reason of paying attention to the plants. Are they turning colors? Do I see holes? Do I see insects? That's why I like to hand water. I like to get out there, and it really makes me focus on paying attention to what the heck's going on. Whereas sometimes I feel like if I were to have timer and drip irrigation, I wouldn't spend the time in the garden to really see an infestation or insect problem before it's just too late. That's something I've been meaning to answer in a lot of videos because it's been a common question on why do I hand water. So there you go on that. Okay, a lot of questions. Let me just grab a couple other random ones. I'm sorry, keep asking if I'm skipping over some of them. What other trees would you like to add to your orange and pea tree orchard? Believe it or not, I don't have any oranges, so maybe like some tangelos or some other type of citrus. All I have right now is just lemon, limes, things like that. But some type of orange or small, like I said, tangelos, the little cuties, whatever you want to call them. I think those would be awesome to add out there. And again, I still think I need to add a couple more peaches so they can cross-pollinate. Sadly, I haven't looked into that a whole lot. So I'm not trying to be a DIY orchard planter here. That's why I've been asking so much of y'all's information on that. I know y'all know a heck of a lot more than me about it. What else we need to plant? Muscadine grapevines. Need to get those. Somebody just gave a suggestion earlier in one of my videos on where I can find some around here because we just bought the last one we could find in a place we normally get those. So I want to get my grapevines going. And what else? Like I said, tangelos I think would be good. I don't think I'm going to put a whole lot more focus in the kind of orchard or fruit and citrus tree area right now. It's the garden that's really got my attention and focus and that I'm excited about. And hopefully y'all seen that picture that I posted on the community section of YouTube this morning. It should randomly pop up in your feed if you've got all the notifications turned on. The garden is exploding. There is stuff popping up everywhere. I just posted the garden video yesterday, the day before. I can't hardly keep up with them anymore. And stuff was barely coming out of the ground. Today, corn is everywhere like this, sprouted out everywhere. Okra has completely filled out. It looks completely different. Day by day, I go out there, and it just amazes me how quick everything grows. So I'll be doing another garden video in the next day or two because it's already time to thin stuff out. Just in the last video, I told y'all, hey, a week or two, we'll start thinning. I can't. Every year it shocks me on how quick this stuff blows up. We've been getting a lot of sunlight and warm days too, though, so I guess that's to be expected. Oh, let's see, what else we got here? Plains Speaker says maybe a high tunnel. Oh my goodness, I want a high tunnel so bad. I'm hoping that's going to be something that I can build next fall, but we'll have to see how the house is coming along. Let's see. Here I am saying my let's see thing, but I ain't got Tiffany to get on to me tonight, so that's a good thing. Awesome. That's what I wanted to know. So Juan's Animal Ranch says he only has one peach tree and gets fruit every year. That's good to know. I wasn't sure if I needed a mate to cross-pollinate or not. Some things you need that, some things you don't. Like my lime tree. I used to only have one lime tree, get plenty of limes off of it, not another one right there beside it. And then I got a Myers lemon a year or so later and never had a mate for it. No cross-pollination apparently needed. So as far as citruses go, maybe some fruit trees, I guess I don't need nothing else for it. And speaking of that, used to have a single pear tree at the last house. No, I'll take that back. I did have two pear trees. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's a lot of stuff that I've got to research and figure out. So William Owen just jumped on. Hello, thank you so much for chatting with us. And One Arm Hunter says ashes in your soil will help with bugs. I actually do put ash in my compost, but I don't really sprinkle it around on top of the soil. That may be something to try. Satsuma oranges is a popular suggestion there. Yes, that would be a good one. And number one, Noel, talking some fishing. Yeah, I like it. I like where you're heading with it. They said stop by Lake Jackson. It's still extremely low. Not sure if the ramp allows access at this time. Appreciate you checking on that for me. To everyone else, he doesn't live too terribly far away. Found that out. We've met a lot of awesome people in the area, and he's trying to give me some information on some fishing holes. But sadly, one of them I've been asking about is dry low, and you can't even get into it. So time will tell. Maybe we'll get to making a fishing video for the other channel here before long. And Chris says he'll buy peaches from me. I doubt you're going to buy many off of that one big tree that I have. Hey, got somebody else talking about fishing. So A Outdoors says he went crappie fishing today and caught a nice mess to eat. They were great. That's something I say I'm going to do every year is do some crappie fishing, and I never do it. I always get tied up on everything else. I've yet to go turkey hunting either, so the house has my full attention right now. The garden and a few other things around the property. Excuse me. So Ronnie says, you mentioned before about a lot of rain last year. You can drill drain holes to the height of your raised bed and make plugs and take them out when the rain, when it pours in the rain. That's not a bad idea. I do need to do something like that. So what he's talking about is last year I had a beautiful raised bed garden. It was my first year doing nothing but raised beds. I've always did traditional in the ground, you know, take a tiller out there, till the ground up, and hoe and weed constantly, it seemed like. So last year I had a gorgeous looking garden, cantaloupes everywhere, beautiful new potatoes. Everything was getting right ready to harvest. We had a tropical storm, a really early one come in. Wound up dumping 12 inches of rain in one night, and we wound up getting 17 inches of rain that week. Rotted just about everything out of the garden. It was at least on ground level. Rotted all my potatoes, lost all my beautiful cantaloupes other than just a few. So that's a good idea to maybe drill some drain holes in the raised bed. I guess that is one negative of a raised bed. They can kind of hold the water and they're on really hard packed ground. So finding some way to drain them, maybe something I need to really look into. That, or I need to figure out how to put plastic covering over them before a tropical storm comes. Although, let's be realistic, it'll probably get blown right off and the water will still wind up everywhere anyways, or it'll crush all my plants. So those are things I'm just gonna have to learn. Any beans? Last year was bad up here too, says Dan. So yeah, last year I struggled with beans big time. This year, not a problem. I just planted a bunch of bush beans and just about every single one of them has come up. Other than a couple of missing spots, beans are doing excellent. So we're really excited this year to potentially have a whole bunch of bush beans, because that was something we absolutely enjoyed last year whenever we finally got a few to grow. Last year was just a weird year. I couldn't get cucumbers to grow last year or beans, but this year, no problem. They're all coming up great. So it leaves me scratching my head. I don't know what the difference is other than I amended the soil this year with my own compost, and the compost I had last year I think was quite hot. It had a lot of chicken manure in it, a lot of nitrogen, and that could have been my problem. I think I may have burnt some of those seeds and crops up. So, do we have any more comments? I'm wondering if, I'm looking at my computer, by the way, when y'all see me looking down. For some reason, my comments are locking up. Okay, here they come. Now they're popping up. So, I don't know what's going on with my computer. So Paul says, look at Epic Gardening website, and they have great raised beds, 30 inches tall. I would love to have 30-inch raised beds, but at the time, lumber was a little high. Now it's extremely high, and I'd have to redesign them, build them. I don't have nowhere near that much compost on the property, so I'd have to buy that. To make 30-inch raised beds out there would probably be another $2,000 or $3,000 realistically. High raised beds sounds amazing. You don't have to bend over as far, helps your back, easier to weed and take care of. But I just don't have a few $1,000s right now to go put in extending my raised beds. But let's face it, it's Florida, it's rainy, it's hot. Eventually that wood is just gonna deteriorate out there. I'm gonna have to rebuild them at some point, and that may be a good time to go ahead and make them bigger. So I'm not gonna rule that out. Oh, Paul says it's galvanized steel he's talking about. That may be something to look at down the road too. I think it's Self-Sufficient Me. I watch him sometimes on there, and I see that he does those big steel raised beds, and I kind of like that idea. I just have to see if I can find some. Right now, everything's impossible to find or ridiculously high, so who knows. But ultimately, I will be redesigning the raised bed garden at some point, and I do want to make the garden bigger too. That might be a next year project. So Cash says he uses cedar fence boards to build his raised beds, keeps the bugs away. Cedar's an excellent option. I just don't see a whole lot of cedar around here, but that's a good natural, I won't call it rot free, but a type of wood that won't rot as easy. Like you say, it's good for the bugs. Something to really look at down the road. So Roy just jumped on. He says, hey guys, everything's looking good. Always good to see you. Look forward to it. Thank you so much for jumping on and chatting. As you can see, it's just me tonight. Tiffany is off with family. And this has been it's been an interesting question. So I've seen it pop up several times. And am I in front of a green screen? I don't know why it looks that way. It might be because I have this weird LED light on. Let me turn that off. But no, I'm not in front of a green screen. Let's see if this helps. That is my yard. I guess it does kind of look a little funny when I look at the screen. I've noticed the last couple live streams, people ask me that. If I wouldn't have an ugly tarpaulin back there and all this sand. I'd probably have a beach in the background or a big, beautiful field. But no, definitely not in front of a green screen. I can walk out there and run around on that yard right now, and y'all see it in a lot of videos. But I've had several people ask me that. I've been scratching my head, but now that I'm looking at it, I think it has something to do with the shop lighting that I'm in. I'm actually inside a shop, even though y'all can't see it. LED lights on me, and then you're looking outside. So I guess it does look a bit funny. So Andy Man says Northern Tool carries those steel raised beds. Awesome, that's good to know. Thank you for that information. And Pony Girl says, high tunnel, you might be able to get one at no cost or inexpensive. Talk to Daniel Arms, he did some program. Hey, okay, I will ask Daniel about that. That's good to know because I have been dying to get a high tunnel. That way I can grow. Being it's Florida, you're probably thinking, do you really need one? Well, there's a lot of hot, warm weather crops that we grow that we could probably grow in the fall and potentially winter if I had a high tunnel. And I'd love to have something that would protect all my seeds that I want to start every year from frost, because even though we're in Florida, we still get a pile of frost. We're in the northern part of Florida up near Georgia, and we had a ton of 20-degree days this year. One day in 23 degrees, and every few years we do actually get some temperatures that drop into the teens. So it gets very cold here at times, but then sometimes we go 5, 6, 7 years and maybe get 1 or 2 frost in that particular winter. But I still want a high tunnel. So Cash says it's all an illusion. Yes, you're in the Matrix. This is all an illusion. Oh my goodness. So Big Wave Florida says start leaf piles and many more compost piles in your wood. You're right. That is one thing I have been slacking on, is adding leaf to my compost pile. That's something I really need to do. Plus, with all this green grass out here this year, I wish I had a push mower with a bagger or something on there. I would really like to add a lot more green material to my compost pile, because I went from having excellent high nitrogen compost last year to this year. I don't think my compost has nowhere near the nitrogen in it because no animals around here, and I didn't add a bunch of manure to it or a whole lot of grain material last year. So I'm curious to see how everything is going to grow in my compost. Right now, so far so good. Everything looks excellent, but there's no way I have nowhere near the nitrogen that I had last year because I don't have all the chicken manure in it that I had last year. So Jeff says, greetings from Pennsylvania, enjoying your channel, and great to watch the progress. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you jumping on. And so another, Brett Tanner says, hi, I thought it was just me thinking the green screen. Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know why. I can go run around the yard, roll around the grass, and show y'all that's real. All right, so Team Dancer's on, says, hello, Andrew, and back. Awesome, thank you for chatting with us. And Cash, of course, rubbing it in because I'm not cooking tonight, says he's smoking ribeye steaks and potatoes today. That sounds amazing. I almost did a steak tonight, but Tiffany would have killed me if she had come home and found out I grilled a steak without her. But man, I was craving one so bad today. So G Smiley says, hello from South Carolina. The pollination has begun. Yep, thick clouds here. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of green pollen, we have had it here probably the last month and a half. Everybody's like getting snotty nosed and sick, and we're all having to spray. It's been horrible. Eyes swelling shut. It is so thick here, probably as thick as I've ever seen. Even one person commented, hey, why is your concrete slab green, whenever I posted a picture or something one day. I was like, no, the slab itself's not green. That's how much pollen was on it. You can go to our vehicles and literally write your name in the pollen. And sadly, all these pine trees here that we've got planted on the property, just thousands upon thousands of them, they're one of the worst trees I've ever seen for green pollen. They put it everywhere. But we really enjoy our pine trees. We like the way they look, give us privacy. I guess pollen's something we're just gonna have to deal with every single year. So living every day outdoors, there's Jay. Says he's on lunch break, working evening shift, just checking in a few minutes, all is well. Thank you so much for stopping chatting with us, Jay. Appreciate you stopping by. Got Rodney Palmer is on. He says, that's right, you can't be in the doghouse. Well, I don't know. If the doghouse is at storm shelter, I might can be out there. So speaking of that, we've already started building our order for the O2 meters and carbon monoxide meters. Trying to find a futon right now, although I've got a different idea. We may put some zero gravity chairs in there that we can move around and actually get even more room. You could sleep in those. They kick back nice. We've already got a couple of them because futons I'm looking at are like $500-600. So, woo! Me and Tiffany's going to talk about potentially using some zero gravity chairs, putting blankets and things in there. But I will have another video out on storm shelter on how we kind of stashed everything. And again, we've still got to anchor it to the ground. Although as of right now, it's 100% ready to use. we're just going to anchor it to the ground even more than it already is. So there will be another video out on that. So Leo says, from one Kelley to another, that is one thing I have definitely found out here lately. I have found a pile of long lost Kelleys because of this channel and because of what Daniel sent over to us. So there is Kelleys all across the country that have been chatting with us. I don't think I found any true relatives, but I've seen a lot of people that spell their last name just like us, which everybody always tells me you spell your name wrong. No, I spell it right. So Roy asked, how's the lumber search going? Still tough on some things, but the OSB, which was scaring me to death, that I just can't get around here. I did meet up with a friend today who is in the construction business, and he thinks he may have a way for me to get the potential 100 sheets that I need. So we're going to continue to move forward with the house this week. I was explaining it earlier. House build videos are probably going to be kind of spotty because I think I'm going to dedicate some time to going and trying to get even more lumber, because it's scaring me to death to raise walls right now and then have no way to wrap and dry the house in and protect everything. So I think I'm going to focus a little more time this week on getting lumber. I'll do videos on that and provide updates. Then we're going to start raising some walls, hopefully this week as well. But the lumber thing I've got to go get. But we might have had some really good news today on the OSB, so I'm hoping I can grab some of that this week. So Eli asked about a sawmill build. That's been another very common question this week. A lot of y'all reached out about the lumber issues that we're having and asked, why don't you do a sawmill? Lots of reasons. Would I love to have a sawmill? Absolutely. But a lot of people look around at the trees back here and it may look like we have a lot of sawmill lumber. We really don't. Yeah, I probably do have enough to build a house out there in the woods, but I'll admit, I don't like cutting my trees. I like having my forest, my woods. I like it for recreational reasons. I definitely don't want to go out there cutting down what big last little bit of virgin timber that I do have that could make some saw lumber. You've got the cost of the sawmill. You got the fact that I really don't want to cut my trees down, so then I'd have to go source some trees out. Then it also has to be kiln dried and dried to proper specs. I don't really have a clue where to go get that done around here. Plus then you got the time of harvesting the lumber. Did I say cost of the sawmill? And here's the other weird thing. My plans, actually, my engineered house plans, state the specific type of lumber that I'm supposed to use. I've never seen that before, but I've never really built a house before either. So then I'd probably have to go back to engineering and ask, is it okay for me to actually saw up and use rough sawn lumber? Can you make an exception? And then if you can make an exception, then you got to go back to the building department and submit all that. So I think it'd be far more of a nightmare than it's worth right now to do my own saw lumber and get a sawmill. That's something I should have literally started 12 to 24 months ago. But who knew we were going to be in this crisis that we're in right now? So there's the answer for that. That's been a very common question. Why don't you sawmill? Hopefully all of those make a little bit of sense to you. Right now, I'd much rather focus on getting some lumber and building than I would starting from scratch and figuring out how to dry all this and going through the legalities of, am I okay to build with this? Sheds and things, doesn't matter. Engineered house plans, like I said, it actually specifically states the type of wood I'm supposed to use in the walls. That blew my mind. I didn't realize that was a thing. So Pony Girl says, pollen allergy, eating local honeybee, and bee pollen will help your immunity. I've always heard that. I've always wondered if that's one of them old wives' tales, but every now and then we do actually buy some local honey. And that's been another common question on the channel. Are we going to get bees? I'll be honest with you. Wasps and bees, I kind of don't like them. I don't know if we're ever going to wind up with beehives on here, but I do have some friends that do bees, and the more they talk to me, it sounds quite interesting, other than the fact that it seems like you can lose a lot to diseases and all the frost. Like I know a pile of people that lost more than half of their hives this year because we just got back to back cold fronts and frost. So I don't really know how to answer that one just yet. Not planning on getting bees, because since a lot of people have asked, but I won't say absolutely not. That could be something that comes on the channel down the road too. I know that would be excellent for all these citrus trees and fruit trees, as well as the garden, to have them over there and have some awesome pollinators flying around. But again, it's Florida. We have no shortage of insects flying around, I promise you. Eli O'Sullivan says, do you think you're going to have the house done by 2022? I'm planning on it, but right now we're already running into complications whenever you literally can't find sheeting for your house. I'm having to do all the running around and jumping through hoops to get that. You can't find, now everybody's telling me you can't even get electrical breakers. Can't find windows. I've already been looking for some. I'm being quoted like 16 plus weeks out on windows, so I'm probably gonna have to go try to put a special order in for that. Kitchen cabinets, I'm also hearing now, forget it unless you stumble across just some of the plain Jane ones at the big box stores. So all that makes it extremely difficult to say when I expect the house build to be done. I just don't know. But yeah, by the 1st of 2022, I really would like to have that house done. That's the plan for now. I'll keep y'all in the loop. So Dallas says, new to the channel, sawmill build. Great, but time involved is not as good as the estimated time lumber will regulate prices. The panic is estimated to end in April. Just my take. Dig the channel. Appreciate that. But I'll be honest with you, I'm hearing, like you just said, April, then I'm hearing June, July, and then I'm hearing a lot of actual hardware stores and lumber yards telling me they think this is going to go well into 2022 on these price hikes and before things drop. So, man, I don't know what to believe anymore. We're going to keep plugging away and doing the absolute best that we can, and I may have to keep traveling from state to state and everywhere else to find lumber to make this happen. It's crazy. A year ago, I would have never thought this. I would have just thought, hey, I'm going to go to a big box store or a local lumber yard, tell them what I need, have them deliver it out, and I'm just going to go to working. That's just not the case anymore. Things have changed dramatically, but we're going to make the best of it. We're going to make lemonade out of lemons. And Bat Creek Cabin says, missed my comments. Frowny face. Sorry. I'm looking back up and says, glad to hear on the lumber situation. Did you have another question? Type it again. I'll look for it. So Cash says, get a wish list together and I'll see what I can find in California. I'm actually hearing a lot of people have commented California seems to have plenty of lumber and for relatively good prices. So it's kind of weird why certain parts of the country are hit hard, but just seems like everybody from the East Coast on up that's commented says lumber's high, hard to get. But then I'm hearing out in the western part of the country, maybe not so much. I don't know why that is. Maybe we'll all get it figured out one of these days. So Team Dancer just said his dad just bought him a 2017 F-250 diesel yesterday and very nice work. Yep, we've had that big conversation on here quite a bit. I wish I had a diesel truck. Don't have a diesel truck. The other day when I was towing probably 8,000 pounds of lumber, oh my goodness, I wish I had a diesel truck. But I don't, and I don't want to pay for a diesel truck. So Dallas says windows, electrical, plastic, July, and wood regulations end in April. But he gets what I'm saying. Yep. And here's the other thing. I'm also hearing electrical boxes. Now PVC, I'm seeing that with my own eyes. PVC's going through the roof. PVC's hard to get. PVC electrical boxes are hard to get. And I'm hearing it's because one of the gigantic, I think it's resin factories or whatever makes the chemicals for all the PVC and plastic type molded stuff was out in Texas and got shut down dramatically with that cold snap to come through. Messed up a lot of the mills out there, basically plugged the system up, and they're just now getting all that stuff cleaned out and back up to capacity. So it's just been one thing after another, it seems like. Again, we're going to get through it. We're going to do the best we can. So, yep, Tennessee says, or East Texas lumber's to the roof. I've kind of heard from Texas over, yeah, but it seems like once you get really out west, again, the California area and all, it sounds like they've been okay. Oh, CK Fab's got to go. Appreciate you so much for chatting with us. So Dallas says, yeah, true about the Texas information. Blaine just jumped on, says enjoy the vlog. Thank you so much, Blaine, for chatting and watching. We do appreciate that. So what else we got here? Oh, Bat Creek Cabin says you give me a hard time. All right, sorry. Thought I missed one of your comments. I try to catch all of them that I can, but that gets a bit difficult sometimes. So Pamela's got to run. Says everyone have a blessed day. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Pamela. I appreciate that. So y'all got any more questions? We may wrap this up a little early tonight, not do an hour and a half long live stream. Like I said, no cooking tonight, no Tiffany. Just thought I'd jump on here. I literally just got home right before the live stream, been going all day. But I wanted to get on here because I knew there was going to be a lot of house questions and garden questions and things like that. But if y'all still have some more questions, we'll keep answering them. Otherwise, we may wrap this thing up here shortly. See here. So Bat Creek Cabin says I can vouch on the electrical. I got the only electrical panel within 200 miles of my place. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I just, it's blowing my mind how many things were affected. Like I said, from plastics to PVC to electrical stuff to lumber. It's not just one industry. This is just crazy. You got to wonder at what point we're going to catch up. I guess it just kind of clicked in my head. I guess a big part of the problem, obviously it's a supply and demand thing. Or either we're getting gouged. It's one of the two. But right now with record low interest rates, banks loaning money like crazy, and it scares me to say all that. I think we got another 2007 coming back. I guess you've got record number of people building homes, so that demand is absolutely there, along with these few things like the Texas weather and shutdown and COVID, everything else that's hit. I guess any little ripple effect in these factories not producing at full capacity for a short period of time, and then record home sales and record home building, I guess it makes sense that, yeah, this stuff's just not out there. And I guess as long as interest rates are low and people are loaning money left and right, it's probably not going to get no better until the housing, building the houses gets caught up. So I don't know how long that'll be. No idea. We're going to try to get ours built in the process, and then we're not building another one anytime soon. Although I did admit we may do an addition, but that could be quite some time before we jump on that. So One Arm Hunter asked how my bigger cucumber plants are doing. They went through some bad shock, really bad shock, and I've talked with quite a few of y'all about that. Actually, what was it, 3 days ago, I had another one snap and blow over due to some wind. I don't know if something's chewing on them or the wind, and they were yelling up looking bad. Now they're kind of turning green and coming back to life, other than the one that broke and died. So I guess they just went through some transplant shocks, all I can think, since they're starting to look a little better now. But it doesn't matter. All the cucumber seeds that I planted are dark green, look beautiful, and they're coming on. I'm assuming I'm going to get some cucumbers one way or another. Like I said, probably about 2 days from now, I think I'm going to go out there and thin the garden out because it's getting thick quick. And if I let my plants get too big as tightly as I grow them together, as soon as you pull them, you'll disturb the roots on another one, and it's a problem. So I like to thin them when they're somewhat young, but I want them to get big enough that I can see, hey, this plant is healthy, this one not so much, let me take that one. So that video is coming. Mailman says, good evening, Andrew. Hey, appreciate you jumping on the chat with us. Thank you so much. Do I plan on raising my own meat birds in the future, says Juan's Animal Ranch. I do, as far as, well, actually, no, I'd be lying to you if I say chickens, because really we want chickens for egg, not necessarily meat. I don't know if I'm going to raise meat birds, to be perfectly honest with you. We could get into that, but as of right now, I don't know that we will. The goats, as far as what we'll raise, will probably go toward meat. There's actually kind of a big goat market around here that we want to have a few cows that we can maybe butcher on halves every year with another family. That's quite common to do in the area. As far as birds go, no, I don't really have plans right now. Just kind of want chickens for eggs, and I haven't really talked about this on the channel. I really want ducks. I kind of think ducks are pretty awesome to watch running around. They lay some pretty cool eggs too. Maybe one of the days we can get a little pond out here and watch them swim in. We want animals for entertainment as well as to provide us something. So we'll kind of see how the channel grows and goes toward that. But animals are definitely coming. Yeah, that's the problem. Team Dancer says you'll have 500 pets when you get animals. I'm pretty good about not designating a animal as a pet. Tiffany, on the other hand, that's something she's going to struggle with. Farm animals, to me, are supposed to give you something back, whether that's the eggs or the actual meat. You harvest them one way or another. Tiffany's going to really struggle with that. She's going to want to make every animal a pet. So y'all will get to watch that journey as we go along as well. Oh yeah, Cash says you get eggs and chicken. He did a little symbol that we all know what that is. Chicken manure sounds awesome. I cannot wait to get animals, horses, straw, chicken manure, all that stuff. Then I can build some amazing compost. Really looking forward to that. I'm not gonna mind shoveling you-know-what every day whenever I know it can go in a compost pile and make me something great that'll give back to the garden. So really actually looking forward to that. So Bat Creek Cabbages, ducks poop all over. Heck, don't chickens poop all over too? It seems like every chicken I've ever seen, they're pooping everywhere. That's all they do is eat and poop. All right, so Paul's got to jump off. Appreciate you chatting with us. Thank you so much. And Eli asked when we plan on getting animals. Probably the next thing that we will actually get is a farm dog. That's going to be the first thing. Been kind of itching and really thinking more for one here lately. I'm at home full time now. Makes a little more sense to have a dog that I can keep an eye on. Then realistically, the first true farm animals that we're going to have will be chickens. I just got to find time to build a chicken coop down the road. Looking forward to eating some eggs. The reason we're not jumping straight into cows, horses, and goats is because I don't have fencing up. I've got to fence in 10 acres of pasture right there. That would be thousands of dollars and a pile of my time. That's money I can't take away from the house over there, and time that I really don't need to take away from the house. I just don't have the extra cash laying around to pay somebody to go out there and do all the fencing for me. So it makes sense to kind of slowly work our way into the animals. A dog, then get into some chickens. Now we got a dog that's kind of watching the place and running other critters off. Move into fencing, then probably cows, horses, right on into goats. We'll keep going from there. So all that will come in due time. So Logan says he just got his boat in springtime. He's ready to go fishing. You and me both. I cannot wait. So Eli asked, what kind of dog? I have been kind of wanting a lab forever. Yes, that's not a true farm dog. I get that. But any dog around that keeps an eye on the place, barks, will run those possums and raccoons and things off that I don't need messing with the chickens and everything else. I'm really thinking I kind of want a small breed of lab. Wanted one for years, so now's the time maybe that we get one. That big porch over there, I keep dreaming about an old lab laying on there and kind of keep watching across the place. Later on down the road, as we get more animals out in the pasture, we might wind up getting a donkey, or we could get like something like a Great Pyrenees or another type of dog that's really supposed to stay out there with goats and other animals and kind of guard and watch. We'll just play all that by ear as we go down the road and kind of keep an eye on the predator situation, which we do have a lot of around here, so it's going to be a struggle. So Cash says he has chickens, ducks, geese, potbelly pigs, a goat, sheep, and a bunch of dogs. You sound broke, Cash. So hopefully I can see that one day and we have all those animals around here. Really, we are really looking forward to having them. I think Tiffany, even more than me, she is a huge animal lover. I think that's when she can really come to life on the channel. She just absolutely loves animals. She loves companion animals as well as farm animals. Hush, ice machine. Y'all hear it over there dropping ice left and right? It's working. So Grand Oaks Acre says, my lap Aussie mix is an amazing livestock guard home dog. Great. I love hearing that. Actually, I used to have a Chow back in the day, which everybody says is a mean dog. One of the greatest guard dogs that I've ever had right there. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a farm animal top dog that's made to be out in the pasture with animals. Any good dog that's trained properly can keep an eye on your place. And like I said, I kind of always desired a lab. We're water babies. We go on the boat a lot. I'd love to have a lab that can go with us on the boat. Maybe one that might fetch ducks or birds, since I do some hunting. But just would really like to have a buddy that rides on the Ranger, rides on the boat, and lays on that old porch over there and keep an eye on the place for us. Cash says that's what happens when the wife and kids get attached to food. Yep, you wind up with a bunch of animals that turn into pets. I understand that. I already know I'm going to have that struggle. I know it. There's just no doubt with Tiffany. Oh, what else do we have here? Did you get a lot of use out of your tractor? I'm thinking about getting a small tractor. Says John. Do I get a lot of use out of that tractor? Holy moly, yes I do. There's no way I could have this property without that tractor. It would be just about impossible to take care of. I guess I could have the property. It would be growing up and be a nightmare. I use that tractor literally almost every single day. It gets crunk up and used for something. I say go for it. Even when I used to have 1.5 acres at our last place, I had a tractor over there. You're thinking, a tractor for 1.5 acres? Well, I had this property, so I used it here some. But you'll be shocked at how much you'll use it just on a small piece of property. Yeah, maybe you only need a small tractor for that, but lifting stuff out of the back of the truck, running a tiller for the garden, cleaning up after a storm, oh man, I couldn't do it without a tractor. I strongly suggest you get one. If it's in your budget and you can afford one and you've been thinking about one, I say go for it. So David says, if you get ducks and chickens, make sure you get some guinea hens. They are plenty loud and they make a heck of a lot of watching. You're great point there. Actually, our neighbor across the road, I can hear their guineas every now and then. Loud, crazy jokers. But I've seen a lot of yards with them, and I forgot they're really good about letting kind of everybody know there's a predator in their area, something's going on. So that may be something good to have there as well. And we'll be asking a lot of these questions, figuring it out. That's kind of the cool thing about our channel. We're not here necessarily teaching you, we're all learning together. So a lot of y'all have far more knowledge on certain things than I do. Maybe I might have a little bit of knowledge that y'all don't have on certain situations. That's what chatting's for, the comment section's for. We can all bounce ideas off each other and learn. I will absolutely be asking y'all a ton of animal questions, no doubt about that. So Big Wave says labs rule. I kind of think so myself. I really like those dogs. And Cash says, question, did I use my dump trailer? You talking about the one I got for my birthday? No, I hadn't really been using that one. Doesn't really haul a whole lot, Cash. So Carol says, I wish I had a great Pyrenees. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. That's what I've always taught them. Bought 6 chickens, 2 ducks. First they were old enough to put outside and something ate them. That's what scares me to death. We have so many predators here. Hawks, foxes, coyotes, bobcats. It's going to be a nightmare to kind of take care of the chickens, but I'm at least going to try. The hawks is probably going to be the biggest thing that we have going for us, excuse me, that'll get the chickens. I really want chickens to free range. I think that's awesome to let them run around and eat bugs and even dig in flower beds and just get things out of the way. But it's going to be about impossible to free range chickens here. So I'm probably going to have to make like a chicken tractor that I can move them around with netting over it. I'm going to have to build them a coop that has wire pinned. I just don't see how I can ever have them with all the hawks. And there's no way I can take care of all the predators around here. I mean, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. They're trying to eat and survive too. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a struggle. Never said this life was easy, but it's rewarding. That's just going to be part of it. We'll eventually get it all figured out. And Joshua says, I need to turn off a light. I know, here's the problem. I can't. If I turn off one switch, it kills all of these lights. So let me see if I can angle this down just a little. Nope, still look like I'm in a hospital. That's something else I'm going to have to figure out down the road, how to do some proper lighting for these. So right now you're just going to see my bright face because I've got 10 LED lights on with one switch that runs all of them. And I can't climb 14 foot in the air up there to turn them all off. So sorry that I'm blinding y'all. So Ralph says he's got to go eat supper. Take care. God bless. Appreciate you, Ralph, there. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And James says, any plans to improve your wet area or pond? Only thing I plan on doing down the road is adding potentially a floating dock to the back pond that has lily pads that can hold fish from time to time. I would love to have a little floating dock out there, but that is definitely not high on the priority list right now. I got to focus on the house and some other things. Other than that, that's all I plan on. Now I'm going to jump back up to Back Creek Cabin. He says, rat terriers rule. Apparently somebody else must have brought that up. That's my second choice in dog. I don't know why I like little rat terriers. I think they're awesome little dogs. So if I were to jump across a little rat terrier or a mix that just happened to fall in my lap, I could wind up with one of those dogs. I don't know why I like labs and rat terriers. I think they're cool. So what kind of lights do I have in my shop? Well, some bright ones, as y'all can see. But I just bought they're 4-foot LED lights. They look like your typical T8 tube or whatever the heck they're called, shop lights, but they're LED. I got them off Amazon. I think it was $50 for a 2-pack, and as y'all can see, they do an excellent job. Never had one burn out. Bought some spares. I need to dig them out one day if y'all are really curious about that and show you. Otherwise, I need to put it in our Amazon store down there. Love these lights. Same ones that we have in the kind of processing get ready room over there, our little outdoor kitchen, as I call it. Joshua says, my face is bright as my personality. Well, thank you. So pretty bright. Any plans for canning in the future, says John. Think about getting into canning. Yes, we started canning last year for the first time, doing pickled okra and a couple other things. I kind of liked it. I really did. It does require a lot of time and attention. I've also canned some like vegetable soups and a few other things. That's the reason we want a big old pantry in the house. So yes, I do plan on getting in canning, not just vegetables, meat, some of the stuff that I'll harvest, and we will start sharing that on the channel as we experiment. Right now, not a professional canner, hadn't done much of it, but we will include some of that on the channel, no doubt. I do want to get into more of that. And everybody keeps bugging me on why am I not planting tomatoes. I've been kind of thinking about canning some tomato sauce. Problem is I might have waited a bit late to find the specific type of tomato plants I need, the paste tomatoes, to play around with some tomato sauce this year. But I've been thinking about canning some of that too. So that will be coming for sure. So let's see here. So Dallas says you're good. Lighting's cool. Maybe a schnauzer. Schnauzers ain't really my type of dogs, but potentially. That's the other thing. Rodney just says, good luck on finding jars. We actually, boy, did we struggle last year on trying to find jars. Couldn't. And I've been giving away some pickled okra to people here lately, and I got to thinking, maybe I shouldn't be giving all my jars away. We still have quite a few, no doubt, but we probably don't have enough. And I hear it ain't even the jars that's so much the problem. We were able to find a case here, case there. It's the lids. You can't find lids to save your life. Every now and then we'll stumble across some on Amazon, but that's just another one of those crazy things. That goes back to the COVID thing, I think, for sure. Haven't hardly been able to find seeds locally in the big seed stores where I normally get them, or kind of fertilizer stores is what we call them. It's just a ag store. and canning stuff and all that. That's because a lot more people now are starting to be a little more conscious as to what's going on in the world. A lot more people are trying to figure out how to garden now, so they're buying up a lot of supplies that you and I are used to getting, and all the way down to the canning supplies. I don't blame people for trying to be more prepared and learning, but that's something else we're struggling and dealing with right now. A lot of people's eyes are being woke up to the, or opened up to the way the world is right now, and it's making it hard to find stuff like that. So good point, Rodney. I definitely need to hang on to my canning jars and try to find some more. So Eli O'Sullivan says firewood, question mark. I'm guessing you're asking why the heck am I not cutting firewood? Because I was doing a lot of that on the channel there for a while, and it's because the house, the garden, and spring snuck up on me. I've got to get back on firewood ASAP. It's supposed to cool off the end of this week, maybe the last cool snap that we get. I've got to go spend a couple mornings down there getting the old big chainsaw out, cutting up and splitting some firewood, so that will be coming because all that stuff is laying in my way down there, and I have got to mow very soon, so I need to get that out of the way. Some firewood videos are definitely coming. I need to get some more firewood built up for us because we've been burning it like crazy. Gonna burn quite a bit more at the end of this week. So I want to get all my racks filled back up for next year, no doubt about that. So Rodney says, tell them you need the jars back. I may have to tell some of those people that. Actually, a few people that I did give some pickled okra to yesterday, they even told me that. We're going to save your jars. I was like, thank you for doing that. So we see those people quite often. We'll grab some of those back. Back Creek Cabin says, when is the roof going on? So that's another good question. I talked with the contractor. He is quite booked up right now, and then we did have some weather delays, but he's talking about potentially getting them back toward the end of this week. We are calling for a little bit of rain that could mess that up, but end of this week, first of next week, they're supposed to be back putting the roof on the pole barn house, and then I'm done with contractors. That's already part of a deal that we signed for in a contract we did anyways. But that's the last of it. From there on, it'll be me, other than subbing a few things out down the road. But hopefully, in this week, we're getting a roof on. Time will tell. So Kevin says, no such thing as a pantry being too big. Isn't that the truth? Especially in today's world. That's why there's no such thing as too big of a deep freezer. I got the biggest one they have, and I keep it stocked full of everything. You just never know when you need it. Ooh, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that's another thing I've heard. Somebody said it's even hard to find chicks right now. Most hatcheries are out of them. This is crazy, but again, I think it's because a lot of people are starting to get more toward that country lifestyle, growing and raising everything. I don't blame people at all for that. It just kind of makes it harder for those of us that do gardens and other things like that to get the supplies that we're used to getting. So Jimmy says he so wants to see a deer in the background. Well, you're probably not now since the camera's down, but you'd be surprised. Me and Tiffany will literally be out here at nighttime with music playing in the shop, lights on, cooking, fire going right there. I'll take the flashlight and we'll shine out across the field because Bullet may be, running around the yard, and there's deer out there just looking at us in the field. They won't do that in the daytime, but at nighttime, they actually come up near all the racket music. And I think it's because they feel protected up here and can get away from all the coyotes that are around. But I seriously doubt you're going to see one just walking across right behind me. I don't have that tame of deer. So Cash says he's got 4 cords of oak split and 6 cords of pine ready for campfire wood, ready for sale. That's quite a bit of wood there. I was wondering if that was for yourself. Let's see, we've probably already burned about 4 cords of wood this year. I'm going to try to make sure that we have 6 or more cords just for ourselves next year. So I may not have any wood to sell. I've got to still get my butt in gear just on stacking up wood for us. Because hopefully this house is done by next fall and winter, and we're doing a little bit of entertaining, people hanging out, burning a lot of fires. Really looking forward to that. So Sunset Hosta Farm just jumped on, says hello from Ohio. Thank you so much for chatting with us. We appreciate it. And Back at Cabin says if you need some help, have a work day. That could potentially be something to put on the table there. I've had a lot of really good friends though that's offered to come out here and help me, and I think a few of them will absolutely do what they promised to do. So if I get to where I can't raise some walls or something heavy going on, probably the day that I do house wrap or hang those 4x8 sheathing up, the OSB, I'm going to have some help. That's going to be some difficult stuff to do by myself, especially with 12-foot walls. So y'all will see some people out here from time to time, no doubt about that. And William Owen asked, did I shoot one this year? I'm guessing you mean deer. I did do a lot of deer hunting this year, had a horrible year, the worst year I've ever had. I actually had to wind up going out of state and filling a doe tag just to put some meat in the freezer. I did have a friend and a father who had a pretty good year, donated a lot of deer meat to me. So I think total I have 4 deer in the freezer. Sadly, only one that I got. And we depend heavily on deer meat. That's the majority of the red meat that we eat there. Love processing it, making burger, jerky, sausage, everything in the world out of it. So really struggled this year. I don't know why. A lot of deer around, just could never get them out in the daytime. So Bat Creek Cabin says they had a deer walk through their group at the campfire the other night. That must have been one tame deer. Sounds like a city deer. I've seen them like that though in towns to where they pretty much come eat out of your hand. That is not how they are around here. They see you from a mile away, they're gone. Absolutely. So Dothan, Alabama just coming in. Hopefully, you have not been having a lot of that bad weather over in that area that we've been hearing about on the last couple cold snaps that come through. So hopefully you're doing all right there, David. Let's see what else. Oh, okay, yeah. Mailman says OSB is crazy expensive there in New York. Here too, 42 to 45 a sheet. Every now and then, I can find a couple big box stores that has it in the 30s. Just insane, man. This lumber's insane. So Cash says he usually saves 1.5 cords of oak for his house and get together with a tree company, watching your video on trading welding work and railroad ties for free wood. Man, barter and trade all that you can. That's something I need to start doing a little bit more of myself around here to get some of the supplies I need. Actually, we're kind of going to have to go back to that system. Right now, you can't even really buy stuff that you need with cash. Things are not available that you need. I can see a lot of bartering going on right now just because, hey, I've got some of this thing that you can't find in the store that you may need, and you've got some of that. We're going to have to go back to that system, no doubt. So that may be something I start pursuing too, kind of looking around and seeing what I have a lot of extra of. Eli asked, are we putting a fireplace in the house? That's been another common question and one worth addressing. We originally had a fireplace in our plans. Then we kind of thought we wanted to do a wood stove. Then we started just really thinking and being realistic. It's Florida. We're going to do icing spray foam insulation in the house, which is some of the best insulation that you can do. So we ultimately took the stove and fireplace completely out of the plans because it's a big expense. Things are expensive right now. We need to move that money elsewhere. And we got to thinking about our house is going to be so well insulated. There's no way we'd ever be able to burn a fire in there. It would run us outside. So long story short, we pulled all that out of the plans. We're going to build a nice patio and fire pit outside at some point. We tend to sit outside and enjoy, the nights anyways. It just really doesn't get cold here enough days out of the year to justify a fireplace and a stove. So nope, it's out of the plans. I could always go back and add a stove later though, if we change our mind. But we're going to have to start seeing some really cold winters before I'm going to consider adding that and kind of taking up the room in the house. So, let's see here. Mailman says it was 39 today where he was at. Oh, no, 39 a sheet. Whew. I thought you meant degrees. I was like, man, it was like 86 degrees here today. And they're limiting y'all to 90 sheets. Well, that's the crazy part here. The few places I'm finding it, they're starting to limit us to 10 sheets. 10 sheets going to do nobody no good. You can't hardly build nothing with 10 sheets of OSB. So that's something new that I'm dealing with for the first time in my life. Limits on lumber and crazy prices, but I'll work through it. We'll deal with it. And if it reaches a certain point that's just not feasible to build the house, we'll have to stop. But as of right now, we're going to keep plugging away. I'll keep traveling and going wherever I need to get this lumber. But we're not going to overextend ourselves or blow our budget completely out of the water either. We're trying our best to pay cash for this house, save for a long time to do that. I'm not looking to go borrow a bunch of money, build a house that isn't even going to be worth what I paid for it here next year when prices drop. But we'll keep plugging away. We'll keep doing the best that we can on that. All right, my comments are slacking again. This thing is not catching up here. And Rodney asked, how many sheets do I think I'll need? Probably going to need close to 100 sheets of OSB. And that's not to wrap the house. That's more than I need to wrap the house. But we're also doing an attic, which I did not show in the plans when I did the plan video the other day, because really the attic's not in the plans, honestly. It's about a 6-foot tall attic, but it's really big. But in the engineered plans, it says to deck the attic floor with OSB. That's why I need so many extra sheets. I may wind up needing even more than that, but 100 would get me to a very comfortable, safe spot. What I'm really needing is enough OSB to dry the house in, and that's going to take, I'd have to go back and crunch the numbers. 60 something, 70 sheets, somewhere in that particular range. But that's my biggest concern. Sheathe the house, get it dried in, wrap it in Tyvek. Then I'll feel a whole lot more comfortable about working inside, waiting on windows. If I can't find the hardy board siding, etc., at least the house is dried in. It's protecting all the lumber that I've went and bought. Yep, Michael, portable sawmill has been a big topic, but due to the cost, the time involved, figuring out how to kiln dry the wood, and because my engineer plans specifically state the type of wood I'm supposed to use, sawmill's off the table. I just don't think it'd be worth it right now. If I was cutting lumber 12 or 24 months ago, I think that would have made a whole lot more sense. But we just didn't know the situation that we were going to be in. See a couple more questions here. Sounds like we're going to have a nice patio area. That is the plan. It's Florida. We want to be outside, so we're probably going to have a deck, a pool, and a fire pit patio at some point. We'll just have to see if there's any money left over after we build this house. Joshua says, get me as many friends I need to go get the OSB. That option is definitely on the table, and I may have to do that. All right, guys. Well, I tell y'all what, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Yeah, it looks like we have been chatting almost an hour and a half, even though I said, oh, we'll make this short tonight. So, again, Tiffany is out spending the night with family that she hasn't seen in a while, some sisters in town. So, if a lot of y'all jumped on here late, that's why she's not here chatting with me. We really do appreciate y'all jumping on and chatting with us. Thank you so much for the questions. I've got a lot more videos going to be coming out this week. Like I said, the house videos could be a little spotty. I know a lot of people are looking forward to house videos because I'm trying to devote my time the next couple of days to getting that all-important lumber. I hate to start raising these walls, not knowing that I can dry the house in and protect everything. So videos will be a little spotty. I'll keep you in the loop on the lumber. We'll start raising walls ASAP, and then eventually moving into plumbing, electrical, and everything else that I can include on the channel. Let's face it, it's going to be a bumpy road, no doubt. Things are just not available like I thought. That's okay. We're going to plug away and do the absolute best that we can with it. And again, thank y'all so much for the support. Everybody just like and share and subscribe to the videos. That's enough. The people on here making the donations, thank you so much. That's absolutely extra and so important to us. And the people that get on here over the live stream, so it really means a lot that you get on here and chat with us and ask all the questions that you have. I apologize. I know I've skipped over a lot of questions. It's difficult as the channel has grown and we've got more people to catch all of these. But drop me a comment in the video. Try to respond to every one of those if you didn't get a question answered tonight, or catch us next week on the live stream. So next Sunday, I'll post that here before long. We'll put up another live stream kind of request for y'all to join if you want to. But every single Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, unless we have something going on, kind of like we did tonight, we will be on. We'll chat with you and we'll talk about what went on the previous week and what's coming up the next week. So a lot of people saying, a lot of people jumping off. I do see some people offering to be moderators. I may reach out to y'all. I truly do apologize. We had a couple weird spammers and rude things jump on here tonight. Just not a whole lot you can do about that. And sadly, it's the world we live in where some people just think that's cute to be rude or jump on or do things like that. So I really do apologize. Hopefully we caught it pretty quick and you weren't offended there. No idea who those people were, if they're robots or real people or not. But spam is just a part of social media nowadays. It is what it is. So thank y'all. Again, really do appreciate the support, and we'll catch y'all next Sunday.